you had a kind of tough upbringing.
Yeah.
You were doing some kind of, I mean, around some wild stuff. Is this how you were saying
that? And now the question is why? You know, when you wake up every morning, there was a ritual. Like I have a ritual now that I do every morning. But when you woke up every morning,
what's the ritual?
I'm gonna tell you what the ritual
back then when I was a child. Because we got some crystals for you. Because
and that's Steve. Stones have a lot of energy, and I want to share that. We got a lot to talk about in an hour and a half.
All right, we got it.
You know,
what type of stone? Crack stone has tons of energy.
Oh my goodness. Best way to start the morning.
But I used to start the morning every morning praying, you know, God, don't make me read.
God don't make you read.
Yeah, in school. Because I was
dyslexic.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And if I read something and stumbled over the words the whole day, you know, kids are cute, but you know what?
No, they're ruthless.
They would say, let's act like we're Eric reading. They would stumble over the you know, right. And so the whole day you would go through it.
Read the words.
You know, right. That's what I'm saying. When you look at it, and when you have dyslexia.
It was like, hut that to him.
Right. It mixes up the characters.
Man. Okay.
And so it was, to me, I was like, listen, why are you going to school, man? Why are you going in classroom every day? Then I started, you know, doing numbers back then before numbers were legal.
What does that mean to people? Because I think like running numbers means like what? There's like some people that are running a gambling ring and you're making sure that they get those.
Great question.
Yeah, how does that even work?
Before the numbers in the lottery
like I'm snitching right now. How does it work?
Before the lottery system was in place, there was you look in the newspaper at the racetracks and you see these last three numbers, digits, and you could bet on what those last three digits were going to be. You know,
so it's a gambling ring. I've heard about this, and I definitely heard that it no longer exists in the Dominican neighborhoods in New York. They definitely don't have their own gambling ring or lottery system.
Right.
So that's what the lottery would be.
Exactly.
And if you could predict those numbers, they would
win. You'll
privatized.
25 cents would give you a certain dollar amount. 50 cents would give you a certain dollar. So you walk around with these slips. You go around the community. They come inside the stores and they say, okay, I think 382. I had a dream last night and I saw 382. You're bet on that. People bet all the time on those numbers and hinges. There were newspapers that were in the community, whole industry around numbers.
Around the numbers, like giving you advice on the numbers?
And so what I learned later in life, like I learned I was dyslexic in college. And I heard a young lady listening to a documentary on dyslexia. Yeah. And I took it out and I said, wait a minute, man, I'm not dumb, I'm dyslexic. So I went from a D student to A student once I learned. Now, when you look at all these young people who are incarcerated, 30 to 40% of them across the country are dyslexic or have a learning disability.
Wow.
So if you feel
they're struggling in school, there's no other opportunity.
Like
they go to, that's interesting.
They go, so the crime is not with only what they did on the streets, is what we're doing to them.
Right. So being able to diagnose these things earlier. Same with like mental health.
What we're
a lot
doing
of
now.
People say. Yeah.
Right now we're doing dyslexia screening. So we're catching a young person and giving them the services that they need, that they don't feel that they're done.
How do you even fix dyslexia? What do you do?
All you do is learn differently. Your mind process, because the words are mumbled, the letters are mumble jumble mixed up. Yeah. But once you learn how to process and learn differently, how you learn,
you can reorganize.
Exactly. And so that led to, like you said, all that crazy stuff you were doing. I was saying, well, why am I sitting in school, man? Why am I going there just to, you know?
So once you become the A student, now you go, I need to put those other people in jail. Like those other people.
That's how you feel.
Like, why would these criminals take advantage of my disability and put me on the streets?
That's how you feel.
Locked up,
you know, and so, you know, it was, you know,
you know how many dyslexic people you locked up?
Think about it. Think about it. You know,
he's excited about it. Read your ass out of this jail.
I bump into people all the time who are doing successful in business. When they hear, you know, my journey being dyslexic, they all say, they stop me and say, Eric, you know, I went through the same thing. Now I'm successful in business. Yeah. Because once you push through that, you find that you can get through just about anything. So when people run around now yelling, booing, oh, we don't like this, we don't like that, because you're in New York, 8.3 million people, 35 million
opinions.
I say to them, that's all you got? You know, all you got is to call me a name. Man, listen, I'm so used to being called names. I used to get called names every morning. You know, so you build this.
What's the best thing you've been called? Like, is there ever anything you've been called where you're like, nah, that's kind of funny?
I don't know. Probably asshole is not the top one. You know,
Better than asshole.
You know, people call. Listen. Hurt people, and they hurt themselves. It's not like, you know, I hate you, Eric. No, people are hating themselves.
Yeah.
And they express that hate, you know, through how they treat people. Because we're in a place now where everyone is so mean-spirited, man.
Yeah.
We no longer, people don't do this. Like, this is powerful when you can sit down.
Have conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
We should seek to understand so that we can be understood.
We have that conversation all the time here. It's just like, nobody wants to understand anybody. Everybody wants to like dunk, score a point so that their party or affiliation or group feels good about themselves instead of trying to like understand what that person's going through.
And social media makes it even worse.
Yeah, because you're getting like patted on the back every time you do it. There's like a reward system baked into it.
Right. You know, it's a coalescing of everyone who has a ill feeling. You know, it's a place like, you know.
Yeah, now you're not alone with your ill feeling.
Right. And you could coalesce around, you know, this feeling that you have, no matter what group you are. I did an experiment the other day. I say, just think of anything you think about. There's a population out there. I say, let me just find people that like grass. Yeah. You know, not cannabis, grass.
No, you don't like the weed.
Right. You know, and it's unbelievable how many people coalesce around there. And first of all, I feel people should have a right to smoke cannabis if they want. Right. My concern, as I said it when I was running for office, is that we have a real educational problems. Yeah. And our children starting their day, these teachers tell me, Eric, these kids are high all the time. Yeah. Yeah. You know, if you start your day walking to school and you're smoking a joint, you're sitting inside the classroom, you smoking a joint during the period, these children are not going to be ready. Yeah. It's particularly at a younger age when their brains are real developing, there's some real science. So if an adult wants to smoke, go do your thing. But we have to be real concerned about what's happening with our children in cannabis.
I feel like most people are supportive of that. Like, I think most adults in New York would go, hey, we got to keep weed out of the kids and we got to protect the kids. I feel like most adults in New York are supportive of that. I almost feel like there's a lot of support around issues in New York, but there's not a lot of understanding on how issues get fixed. Right. And that's one of the things about, like, I'm always curious when I talk to elected officials. It's like, it's your fault. No matter what happens, it's your fault. Right. Even if you don't have the power to change it.
Especially the mayor, man.
Bro, so it's like, and I always say this, I'm like, the mayor is the second most powerful position in America, the mayor of New York.
Right.
I didn't even know that the governor was a woman until like a month ago. I've never known that we had governor. We had a blind guy governor. I didn't know.
Like, New York is not a state; it's a city.
Yeah,
no, it is.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
You ask people in Texas, New York, they're not thinking of the state. I grew up in Texas. I only thought of the city.
And that is our blind spot is like not seeing outside the city. But it's like if there's the president of the United States, and then next it's the mayor of New York, and then there's the rest of the people in government.
And that's why civics is crucial, so people can understand who's responsible
for these different things.
Right, because when you're the mayor, I don't care what it is, man.
It's your fault.
Guy stepped to me a couple of months ago, man, said, listen, I'm getting divorced. You know, it's your fault.
You had sex with my wife in Far Rock. Some vegan guy was walking around laying meat, though.
That one is your fault. That one is you gotta take
that was all you. No, but you're saying
that's the cases. So people will say, well, you know, the trains are not operating the way they're supposed to. That's the state, man. That's not the city.
Oh, so wait, the trains meaning like
the subway, the 2, 3, 4, and 5. The state is in charge of that.
The state is in charge of the MTA.
Right. Yeah. Our job is to protect the people. I'm in charge of the police in the system. Yeah. And what we've done in the system is unbelievable. A lot of people, like when I walk in rooms and I say, tell me how many serious crimes you think happen in the subway system. People say 100, 200 a day, 300 a day. We have 4.6 million riders every day. Yeah. We have 6 felonies a day.
Wow.
Out of 4.6 million, I don't feel like going to work. I'm pissed off. People on the subway. It's a miracle that we're able to move that volume of people every day and deal with the mental health issues down in the subway system. People are attracted to it.